Okay, so a long time coming, but we're finally pretty good to go. I'm gonna probably need to fix the edging here. I feel like I lost some of the crisp edge. That I'm gonna need to add that in. We'll probably have to mask that out and come back. But I kind of figured it might be more fun just to kind of start um, with the fun part. So let me go ahead and shrink this image up a bit. Again, this is the one I'm using. Well, maybe zoom in a bit more. So we're creating again this piece here, and there's a lot of really cool detail. The good news is this. I don't know if it probably looks kind of like the artist probably did this symmetrically. So maybe they had a tool that let them paint on both sides, or maybe they flipped it, or whatever. So we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna do a sculpt tool, and I'm gonna be definitely using, I think, one of my stamps for this because the default sculpt tool is a little too. Sorry, I have one already selected. Um, I don't know, bulbous, round. So I'm going to come over here and I play around with these tools. I think they're going to work out pretty well on the end. They have kind of a nice shape to them overall. We can play with our settings. Again, I'm just going to have to move this guy up a little bit. Maybe I'll just move him over to the other monitor for the time being. Maybe not. All right, so I'm going to kind of play around with these settings till I like the look of them. So I might lower this down a little bit in size. That's not bad. Again, I'm just kind of experimenting here, and I'm hitting undo to see if, again, if I want to use this one or not. That one's not bad, actually. Look at all that. I don't know. These other ones might be a little too pointy, but maybe not. All right, so we'll bring our picture back here. Pin that. Oh, on you. All right. So now let's kind of play around with this a little bit. So first things first, it kind of looks like we might need to, maybe I'll add in a bit of an edge here where the color is going to be. Again, I said we kind of lost some of that. Now I'm a bit of at a disadvantage. I really wish I had my my Wacom tablet. I'm kind of just working from my mouse, but we'll get it to work good enough. All right, so that's sculpting in. I'm going to want it to sculpt out, so we'll just change that and kind of go from there. So now keep in mind that when we are creating something, again, I've said this before, but from a 2D base image, that we may not be able to get it to be identical to the image. Again, we're going to try our best, right? That's totally the goal. But it is possible that we need to make something a little more further away, or with a slightly different angle to kind of make it actually work, right? So when the 2D artist is creating this thing, they're not having to really work with realism, right? They're not having to work with 3D. Their goal is a little different. Their goal is to create a cool looking image, and this artist certainly has done that. This is a cool image. So cool they used it in Baldur's Gate 3. So, they did a nice job there. Now for our work, we're kind of left figuring it out, right? Like, what do we need to do to get this to look the way we want? And sometimes that might mean kind of combining different tools and different techniques to get it to work right. Like this one, I kind of like the height is pretty good, but again, this thing keeps pushing in and I want it to push out. So we'll say here, this is an interesting piece because it's kind of hard to tell if all that detail work should be there, or if it's just supposed to be like I don't know, designs, like all these kind of painting edges. You know, here it looks like I accidentally went in and I want it to come out, so we'll redo that. That can explain why it's not quite looking the way I wanted it to. Could just be that my not doing that great of a job drawing. Well, all right, so that's going to be that little dot thing right here. Guess we can put that little dot thing. That looks bad. Might even need to go up another subdivision level, which feels odd, but again, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna come back and do like a mask for that. I think I'm not really liking the look of it. So. Not too bad. No, I'm not loving that so much though. Again, this could just take me a while. Especially to when I'm happy with it, because I can be a little perfectionist. Maybe we'll just worry about getting the main elements and go from there. This does kind of look like it's trying to do sort of a plant bat sort of theme. And we could argue, well, maybe those edges are supposed to be there. Like, if it's not just paintbrush strokes. So we're definitely getting kind of that look here. Okay. You know, getting the idea, right? Okay, maybe we can even make these separate pieces. This would probably work better if I had a slightly steadier hand. Oop. Well, that could work. Maybe we'll hit that with flat and see what we get with. You know, get it not too bad. Start push and pull it more into the shape we want. Alright, so that looks pretty good. Again, we'll go with a little bit different shape. Might be a little small though compared to the image. So okay, here I got a little bit of pinching. So I might just do a step down, and then we'll, I'm having a hard time getting that be what I want. Try that. All right, so there we go. It's all right, I think. Kind of the overall look I want. If you're like, hey, you're taking a really long time with that. I told you I was a bit of a perfectionist with some of this stuff, and it takes me a lot longer than it should because I hyper focus. Okay. So I can come back and maybe clean some of these up. Maybe I pull it down and give it a little bit harsher edging. I think again. Not bad. I work better with the pinch tool, but all right. Okay. So we're getting there. Again, we got kind of like this weird. Go back to sculpt. We'll grab again one of our tools here. Gotta draw it faster. Almost Batman-y. Batman-y? Batmanish? Batmanish? Not really sure what phrasing I'm looking for there, but Batman-esque. Kind of getting getting it together. Having to undo it a lot. I feel like my hands aren't as steady as I kind of wish they were. Okay, so it's coming there. Like now at this point I've got so many design elements in there. I feel like I need to add more. Okay. Probably should have made the gem a little bigger, but not too bad. Overall. Okay, maybe I might have made these guys a little bigger than they should have been. But I think we're getting the idea, right? Just need to move that by hand. quit messing up, it probably would be a little more effective. Okay. I also think maybe this whole design looks like it needs to be moved down a considerable amount. So again, let's move our I've pinned this up so high, I'm having trouble even moving the dang picture. So like, let's see. All right, take a look at our armor piece here. It's not bad, but I feel like I am too high up, right? I feel like some of this stuff needs to get moved down. So I'm just using the grab tool now to kind of move this design around a bit because I feel like it's maybe not quite where I need to be. That, or I've made all my armor a little too probably a little bit closer. I feel like this edge you can't really see in the armor. And maybe I have a little bit of a weird bit here happening. I'll just smooth it out a bit. Let's go ahead and I don't hate it, but it does not seem as prevalent in the concept. So I feel like somewhat I don't mind a little bit more definition here. On the other hand, without that visual tearing, I'll tell you. All right. Okay, so we're kind of back up to there. All right, where were we? So it does look like it does raise up quite a bit more in the front. So maybe my overall shape needs a little bit more work as well. As you can see, you can actually get to a point where the model you end up with kind of differs quite a bit from what you may have started with. That's pretty normal. I come across that a lot. So as you start getting in there and making adjustments, you find a lot more things that might need some editing than you originally anticipated. I don't know what's with this weird spine thing. Get rid of that. Shoulder blade definition, even though it's an armor. It's my armor, I can do what I want. Might even go in a bit there. And let's go ahead and go back up to our highest subdivision level, and let's keep going. All right. This video is getting insanely long. Let's go ahead and say what we got. Since kind of getting the idea, and let's just rough some more in real quick and call it a day, because otherwise, you know, it's taking too long. Okay, so what do we got here? It comes down to a point, and then there's just like a weird fancy slash happening. Off the slash, there's another edge. Again, that's close. You see here we need to fix that. Maybe with 25. That's too big. 25. So this is kind of not quite over far as my grab the back. It looks like might have to fix the back up a little bit. It's not too bad. Gotta remember to put some more jewels in this thing. Gotta play around with that jewel shape too. I'm not sure if I love it, but alright, that'll work. Too bat-like. Alright, what do we got? I got that one. It goes there. That one's going there. Could be a little bigger here, I guess. My corner. Fix this a little bit, make it a little more sharp edged. Okay, so the wiggle, so there's a bit of this kind of thing happening. And then we have something here. That curve but went in too far. I got too close that time. Oh well. I'm gonna leave it. Alright, I'm gonna redo it. Alright. Probably too far over. I'm not leaving myself enough room. Here I might go back and change this. Bring this whole thing in a bit. Oh man, oh. I'm getting lag. Alright, I'm gonna say it's probably my computer not loving it. Alright. I think I need to maybe go down a couple subdivision levels. That probably would make this a little bit less resource intensive. Okay. Alright. We're getting there. Again, I feel like it's taking me a little longer than I would hope. Alright, we'll do. Now over here, I can't really see what's happening. So I think at this point, I'm just kind of winging it. There's definitely a third thing happening here. But I don't know what. The concept piece doesn't go over that far. It just kind of shows there's a third one happening. So that's not a bad thing though, because that gives me a little more freedom about what to make. All right, you can see we're getting there. I think slowly but surely. Just literally pull this out, maybe. All right. So we're getting the idea. Again, I'm gonna need a. Now we got the sculpt of this kind of going. there's like two of these curlies on the piece, and I'm having trouble figuring out how to get that other one in there. This might end up being a case of good enough, huh? All right. It's looking pretty good. You know, I might go, even though it's not on the piece, I could go and start maybe adding other details in some spots, because I kind of feel like, man, I cannot get the angle right. Come on, hand. That's not ideal. But it looks too plain over there. All right, maybe we'll just leave it. All right, so I have some more jewels and things to add, but you can kind of get the idea. Okay, again, let's go ahead and save this. And